Amrit Dasu is in Toronto, and you're going to be debuting at the 12th anniversary Anoki Media Awards. How do you feel?
I feel excited, and I'm very humbled that you have me out here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like when Rishi Rich says that I've got one of the best artists that I am curating and who has a tremendous sound and is multi-talented, trust me, we listen.
Thank you, it's a blessing.
Absolutely. I was reading your bio, and one thing I found really interesting about your story is that you've traveled a lot, and that your influences in music have a lot to do with the various places you've traveled.
Yep.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
I grew up in Hong Kong.
Yes.
And my dad is a businessman, so and my grandfather was in the British Army. So what we did was we went back and forth traveling a lot. My father at my age was going to the Philippines, Australia. So at the age of 14, I started traveling by myself because my father was here in the U.S. and in Toronto and everything, and I had to come back and forth. And it's just like at a very young age, I was traveling a lot, you know. So that way, I got to connect with different types of communities, and it helps a lot with my music because I get to touch every other community that I've been through, you know. So it's good.
Absolutely. And the other interesting thing about your story for me is the fact that, you know, Rishi's the kind of person, and of course I don't need to say this to you, but he's the kind of a musical producer that really needs to kind of understand the vibe of you as a personality. It's not just about the music kind of comes later. You know, he needs to hang with you and kind of understand what kind of personality you are, because he's such a perfectionist, right? And, you know, for him to endorse a new artist says a lot. We were kind of thinking, you know, you're probably kind of like that next Jay Sean, and I know that he's one of your idols as well, but you totally have your own distinctive sound. You are not another somebody. You are who you are. You're Amrit Dasu. So talk to me about what is your sound. I mean, who is Amrit Dasu as a musical artist today? Because obviously, as life goes on, things change. We'll talk about that on another show. Right now, who would you say you are as an artist?
Me as an artist, I have been through a lot, you know, struggles. Like, that's what I want to talk about, perseverance. Like I want to show that it's okay to be who you are, you know, like my music is going to be what I've been through, what my family's been through, you know, a lot of heartbreaks, you know, but also triumph. Like you know, there's good to that end, you know?
Absolutely.
And, that's what I want people to know, that it's okay. You know, at the end of the day, it's okay to be who you are. And that's all I want to show in my music and tell my story. That's all.
What's your story?
My story is that I've been through a lot, you know, living away from my family, you know, living away from my brother, you know, that's my love, you know. My family is everything to me. And living away from them at a young age taught me that, you know, life is going to be hard. You're not going to get everything that you don't work for. You have to work for everything you have. And music helped me, you know, less that pain, you know, and through my music, people connect with me, and sometimes I can't talk about it because it just doesn't come out the right way, but through my music, people actually get to connect with me, and I love that, and that's why I love doing music.
You know, I love hearing you say that, because, you know, in spirituality, I'm very much into, you know, holistic spirituality. One thing that they talk about in the different levels of communication is that the lowest level of communication is the spoken word. So the fact that you're saying that, you know, music is kind of your way of, you know, communicating what you've gone through and connecting with people on a similar level says volumes, you know, in terms of why you decided to become a musical artist, right? There's a huge communication, that's a two-way communication with artists who truly do understand the genre of music, right? Talk to me about your sound, you know, because I know that you've, you know, spent time to kind of figure out and develop who it is that you need to be as a musical artist in terms of your identity. What would talk to me about the process of what that was like for you, and who are you today as an artist?
Well, coming into the music industry, I was at around 17, and it was always like going into the studio and, you know, hearing these tracks on the radio and stuff, like, I want to make a song like this, I want to make a song like that. Every time going into the studio, it wouldn't come out that way, you know. It was like always like, why doesn't this work? And sometimes people wouldn't connect with it, and it's just like something's lacking, you know? And I would never know what it is, because nobody really knew what it was until I had to figure that out on my own. And I figured that out, that when I go to the studio and just vibe, just organic, you know? That's real music that people connect with. So recently I've been starting to do like acoustic music, I've been doing like ballads, I've been doing like music that just have live instruments and stuff, and working with Rishi using, you know, samples and stuff that he's a master at, you know, like those type of beats, those type of sounds are what I connect with, melodic sounds, you know, like that's what I want to be, you know, showing the world. Like, cool, like party songs are all fun and everything, but I'm not really into that, you know, like melodic songs are what I want to make, and like songs that can connect with people on a different level. Like the partying and everything is fine, but like I want to connect with people on more like a heartbreak, or like just falling in love and stuff like that. That's more my sound. Like I love making music like that.
You've got such an old soul, right?
I love it.
You're a contemplative kind of personality. You think about, you know, people's feelings and emotions and your own.
Yeah.
And I have a sense from your aura that you know, the music that you create is more than just, you know, okay, I'm going to create music because I want to be famous and I want people to know who I am. But my sense that I'm getting from you, Amrit, is that, you know, there's a great authenticity associated with the fact that this communication genre of music for you, it has a real spiritual and you know, meaningful on a human level kind of an importance for you.
100%. If this didn't have any meaning to me, I wouldn't do it. The day I don't feel like I connect with the music I make, I'm never going to go into the studio. I'm here because I have a lot to say. I have a lot of feelings that I have to express, and I want to say it in a cool way, like in an urban way. You know, I want to break the urban contemporary market, and that's my goal, to be the best at it. You know, it's not about competing with others. I have my own lane, and everybody else that does it have their own lane. In the mainstream, obviously, like, people will tell you to dumb things down and stuff like that. I don't want to do that, you know? If one day people connect with me because I'm being real, that's all that matters. As long as I inspire one person, that will help me inspire another person, that will help me inspire another person. It's not about chasing fame or girls or none of that, you know? That's nothing to me, you know? And if I wanted to do that, I would have been like, you know, a promoter at the club or something like that. But this is what I take to heart, and I put my heart and soul into music, and I want people to see that.
So talk to me about your music. There's a couple of tracks that I see that are out there in rotation. Love your sound.
Thank you.
I really do, and I can already tell, like, you know, even in terms of what you have out on YouTube, you're quite distinctive in your sound.
So I have a first EP called 1986. That's when my parents met. And I did that song as in, like, it's like a story. Every song on that is like my father talking to my mother, you know, or my mother talking to my father. And after that, the EP came out in November. And I had sent the 1986 album to Rishi, and he loved the song, and that's where he got in touch with me. November is actually when my brother was born. So, you know, like, I'm paying respect to my parents and my brother, and Rishi heard that album, and he was like, you know what, I really love your sound, let's talk more. And we went back and forth in emails. Manrina helped, and he did the remix for November. And when I heard it back, that was it. I was like, November was missing something, but the track that you've done, the remix, is everything I've wanted.
Yeah.
And I had actually shot half of the video for the original version, and when I heard that, I had replaced that song and then reshot the video. And when I released the video, it was crazy. And
I love it.
When I met Rishi in Atlanta, it took 2 days to finish 2 songs.
Wow.
We did a song for Amrit Dasu and Tony's movie, that's starring Manrina.
Yeah.
And I have a song on there called That's Right, featuring Juggy D. It's such a fun track. It's a good feel track, you know?
Yes.
And I have a song called Wrong. When we wrote that song, it was like, you know, real. Like, what we made, I honestly can say the vibe was like magical. Really was.
And that's the best way to create anything in this world, right? I
definitely.
mean, we're all here, you know, the same way, and it's, you know, what's the legacy that we want to leave behind, right? Is kind of where you're at right now. You're at the beginning of your journey. In terms of your journey, where would you like to go in your career? What are you envisaging? Where do you want to be? What's utopia for you?
One day when I'm standing at the Grammy Awards, Rishi, his family, my family, everybody sitting next to me, and I could just get the award and say, I'm grateful that I made you guys proud.
I adore you.
Thank you so much.
Can I tell you something that I can't wait to see your journey blossom? I think that you're just in the bud stage, and even now you distinctly know why you're doing this, and I think that it's that authenticity that Rishi is really, you know, a maestro at being able to identify, which is why he always has so much success with his artists.
Definitely.
That he doesn't make it about himself, he makes it about the artist, and he knows how to find people who actually understand the true credibility of who they need to be as an artist.
Definitely.
And not about all the other fluff stuff. So I'm telling you something, I'm really excited about watching your journey as you move forward in your life. Thank you so much for coming out, and I look forward to introducing you to the fabulous crowd that we have in Toronto.
Thank you so much for having me and giving me a chance to show you what I have to offer.